Hello everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I'm excited to share a couple of really good recipes with you. So I don't know, some of you may keep a garden, some of you may have a neighbor that keeps a garden, and usually there comes a time in the season where we have to roll up our car windows because otherwise we might get dropped off zucchini in them. Or we might be giving zucchini away because all of a sudden the plants just kind of explode and there's lots and lots and lots of zucchini that we have no idea what to do with. So I'm going to show you what to do with some of the zucchini that you may not know what to do with. So usually when you go to the garden, you want, you're looking for this size or, this size of yellow squash. And this is like the ideal size because they're nice and tender and they're small and the seeds are small. And so this is usually the size that we want to go with. But every so often, we go out to the garden and we move a leaf and we find this. And we're like, wow, what do I do with this? Do I use it as a baseball bat? Do I use it as a rolling pin? Do I just let it rot? Do I, what do I do with this? Because the skin is a little bit harder. But you can do a lot with this. A lot. And I'm going to show you two absolutely awesome recipes that you can use for something like this or a beast like this. So either one, they have kind of the same texture, but you can use them interchangeably. But I'm going to show you two recipes that you can use these up, and these actually give more yield for the recipes than what the little itty bitty ones do, obviously. But the recipes are absolutely delicious. One of them is a crisp and the other is like a burger patty type thing. And they're absolutely delicious. You wouldn't even know that there's zucchini in them or that it was, the big kind of zucchini that you used. So anyway, I'm excited to share these recipes with you. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first we are going to start with our shredded zucchini. Now, what I did with this is that big, huge zucchini that I showed you, I quartered it, and then I scooped out the insides of it, and then I shredded it. Very, very simple. And that one zucchini made all of this. Now, I usually do a double batch, and that's pretty much what it came out to, which is wonderful. So, to this, I'm going to add my onions, and you can use any kind of onion you want. I usually use white onion just because it's nice, but sweet onion tastes really, really good in it too. And then I'm going to add some cashews. Now these I put in the food processor and just chopped them up to where they're like itty bitty bits, but if you want to, you could use almonds too, blanched almonds, and that will give it a really nice taste also. You could use walnuts, but it's going to give it like a different color to the patties, but it would still taste nice. So whatever you have on hand, you can use that. Then I'm going to add some oats. Now the recipe calls for quick oats, but I did not have any quick oats. So stir what you got. I'm adding regular oats. Almost looks like I'm making a batch of granola. Okay, to this, then you would add some breadcrumbs. Now you're like, oh, those are some funny looking breadcrumbs. Well, they're not breadcrumbs. These ones are not breadcrumbs, but they're similar to breadcrumbs. They're really tiny and similar to breadcrumbs. So these are Rice Krispies. And you can use, like if you're trying to do these gluten-free, you can use Rice Krispies, you can use crushed up corn checks, you can use, I guess you could use like gluten-free bread. And then, you chop it up or you put it through your food processor and make little crumbles. And I think they do have gluten-free breadcrumbs, but they're so expensive. So this works really nicely in place of gluten-free breadcrumbs. Then I'm going to add my yeast flakes, nutritional yeast flakes. Gives it a nice nutty, cheesy flavor and also provides that extra boost of B12. And then here I have my salt and I have my chicken seasoning. I usually use a homemade one that I do homemade. I do believe it's in like the notes archive of our Facebook page. Otherwise, you can use like McKay's chicken seasoning or any other mock type chicken seasoning to that. All right, now the fun part. Make sure your hands are clean. But the fun part is mixing it. I usually always add my ingredients the way I did because I like to mix the dry stuff that's on top before I mix it into all the wet stuff that's underneath it. Don't breathe the smoke. Oh, that's really potent. So I just inhaled some of my seasoning. It was lovely. Tasted good. All right, now we're gonna dive in there and mix it all up. Now some of you might be saying, wow, that's a lot of mix. Well, you know, I have a lot of boys and they like to eat a lot of food. So really this is not going to last very long. And yeah, for anybody else that has boys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, we are good and mixed, and our hands are good and dirty, and they smell delicious. So we are going to go ahead and form these into patties. All right, so I have I guess I'm preheating the oven to 350, and I'm just gonna spray this pan ever so slightly so that things don't stick. Yes, I know it's a non-stick pan, but seems like things still stick even in my non-stick pans. Maybe it's just me, but maybe that happens to you too. All right, I have my mixture off to the side here. You can't really see it on the camera. It's kind of like right over here. And well, I guess you should be able to see it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we'll move this right here. We'll move the mixture right here. And what I have is one of my handy dandy ice cream scoops. Now this one is 1/4 of a cup. Nope, this one is 1/3 of a cup. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scoop it and I'm gonna press it up against the sides so it's nice and packed. Clean off around the edges. Maybe kind of pack it in there a little bit more. And then I just make my little patty there. And I just keep doing this until the tray is full. All right, so I got all my little patty looking things, and now I'm just going to press them all flat. And you want to kind of have them uniformly flat, otherwise they may not cook evenly. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pop these in the oven. They're gonna cook for 25 minutes, but I'm gonna flip them halfway through. So at about 13.5 minutes, but I'll probably flip them after 15 minutes. So 15 minutes on one side, and then I'll flip them in 10 minutes on the other. And then I will show you the finished product. All right, our patties are done baking. Put that on the counter so we don't burn the counter. All right, there we go. Don't those look delicious? I wish you could smell it, because just the smell of the cooked onion, and I love onions. Just the smell is just, oh, so good. So you can eat these just the way they are, but what you want to do is you want to take these and you want to put them on a cooling rack. Unless you're going to eat them right away, which that might be what's going to happen here. But we usually put it on bread with fresh tomato and a little bit of like vegan mayonnaise and maybe a little sprinkle of some Creole seasoning. Oh, and some lettuce. Oh, it's so good. Or some kale. Oh yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this recipe. I know you're going to enjoy this recipe. It's such a wonderful way to use up, you know, those monster zucchinis, or even if you have a whole bunch of little itty bitty zucchinis, you can use those too. But it's a great way to use them up. and it has a lot of nutrients and vitamins and all that other fun stuff in it. But best of all, they taste good, and I'll be lucky if all of these make it to the meal without little fingers sneaking into them. So anyway, I'm so glad you were able to join me, and I look forward to doing more recipes with you soon. Have a wonderful day.